Hi, I'm Fix. Welcome back. In this video, I will show you how I created my latest AI mini server using the ZimaBoard 2, which now comes with the Intel 150, a processor 3 times faster than the N345 of the last generation. And not only that, it includes up to 16 GB of LPDDR5 memory and a PCI Express 3.0 port, which makes it particularly interesting to me. If you watch my video of the ZimaBlade, you saw that it is possible to connect a GPU to be able to get more out of this mini server. In this video, we will not do that, but we will test the M2 to PCI Express adapter that Icewell has released alongside this mini server, which will allow us to push its capabilities even further. For this, we will use the UGen300, a new AI module from ASUS, which will allow us to create the ultimate AI mini server. Now, I want to thank Icewell and ASUS for sending me these devices to make this review. As always, the opinions I share are fully mine, based on the results of my testing. And if you're ready, let's go! Now, first, we need to start by formatting the ZimaBoard 2, since it comes pre-installed with ZimaOS, which, unlike conventional operating systems, works in a similar way to the operating system of a cell phone, which ensures the integrity of the system by keeping it protected in a kind of safe that cannot be modified internally to prevent breakage. And in order to use the UGen300, we need to install the driver of the device, so we won't be able to use ZimaOS directly. But if this were not the case, you should totally consider trying it, since it includes everything necessary to easily create a mini NAS where you can install applications with just one click directly from their store, just as if you were installing an app on your phone. Instead, I will install Ubuntu 26.04 on this NVMe drive. I will download the version for Intel 64 bits. Now, while it finishes installing on the USB, let me talk to you a little bit more about the ZimaBoard. It is made entirely of metal, which helps with heat dissipation, in addition to give it a robust and elegant finish. It has two 2.5 gigabit Ethernet ports. That makes it perfect to build your own firewall or create a NAS server. It also has two USB 3.0 ports and a PCI Express 3.0 port. In short, it is an authentic Swiss Army knife that gives you total control to centralize your local services. It also includes a fan that will help you actively with heat dissipation, which, given the power of the new processor, it is totally necessary. A 12-volt power source, and a double SATA cable, which will allow us to connect up to two conventional hard drives to our NAS. Now, I'll proceed with the OS installation. For this, we just have to connect the USB to the server and select it as boot device on the BIOS of the system. After that, just save and restart the system to proceed with installation. Once that finishes, we will proceed to install the UGen300 M2 module, specifically the LPDDR4 8GB version. It has the Hailo 10H chip, a processor specialized in neural networks, which is capable of delivering up to 40 operations per second, and despite its capabilities, it only consumes 2.5 watts of power, which make it the perfect add-on for the ZimaBoard 2. The process is identical to placing an NVMe drive. Unlike the NPUs built into the latest generation processors, this ASUS hardware has the huge advantage of not cannibalizing the system RAM's memory. We will see how this 40 TOPS accelerator behaves when facing text generation and computer vision tasks. After securing the module in the slot, it is the moment to power the device to proceed with the installation of the driver that we can download from the ASUS page. If you find this useful so far, consider subscribing to the channel to not miss my next videos. Here, we just have to check that the architecture is correct. In this case, since the processor is Intel, we will select the Linux 64-bit version and then click download. This part is when I came across several problems, since the latest version of the Linux kernel is not compatible with the 5.3 version of the PCI driver for the device. Fortunately, with Gemini's help, I was able to find the solution, which, luckily, only requires changing one of the methods used in the latest kernel version. Since the installation can get somewhat cumbersome, I created a script that will help you handle the installation of the script. You can find instructions on my website. You just have to download the file from the ASUS webpage and pass it onto this small script, which will take care of making the changes so that the installation can proceed without problems. Now, to make the most out of the ultimate AI server, I couldn't think of anything better than just build something myself. This is how I created this open source project called Clips. This project is designed for content creators who produce long-form content. It uses Whisper to generate the video transcript, which is then processed by an AI to detect the moments that can be extracted to be used as clips or shorts. Not only does it allow you to embed subtitles in the final video, but it also allows the generation of vertical video formats. For this, it uses computer vision models to detect the areas of the video where a person is located, and thus be able to make the adjustments to focus on the people present in the video. And finally, with the help of FFmpeg, it renders the final video, using hardware acceleration to speed up the process. Thus, the user only has to choose the video to render, and that's it, greatly reducing the time that it could take analyzing and editing the video by hand. For this, the project has support to run Whisper and computer vision models, like the YOLO 11, using the device UGen300 from ASUS, which will allow us to execute tasks much faster. In addition to that, using the hardware acceleration of the Intel processor included in the ZimaBoard 2, we can expedite the rendering of the final video. Now, while it is true that the UGen300 is able to execute generative AI models like the ones we will use for the identification of clips in the video, unfortunately, these models do not have enough intelligence to be able to manage a task of this magnitude. This makes that part of the process still need cloud services to be able to run. To execute this project, we will only need to copy and paste instructions that you can find on my website. The link is in the description. In my case, since this is a new installation, first I need to install Docker. For this, I will use one of my tutorials. You can easily find it by searching Docker on my website. Just copy the Docker installation instructions and paste them in the terminal. Okay, it looks like we need an additional package for the instructions to work. Don't worry, by the time this video is published, the instructions will be updated on my website. After correcting that, I was able to run Docker. Now, since the project has support for NVIDIA graphics, Intel, CPU, and Hailo 10H, you must specifically look for the instructions for your setup. In this case, I will use the Intel Hailo 10H combination. Then just press enter and wait for the containers to download and start. Once finished, we just have to go to localhost on port 3000. Here we can continue anonymously. Then it would ask us to create our first channel. Give it a name and then click on Create Channel. As you can see, it has support for Spanish and English. Now, if we click on Settings, we can select the device to use to run Whisper. I will select the Hailo 10H. And as you can see, the website tells us that the device is ready to use. Then I will select the Hailo small model, and then click Save. Now, in the Source tab, I can select a video or add a YouTube URL directly. For this example, I will use my video about Docker. Just paste the link, select the language, and then click Download. If we click on the progress icon, it will take us directly to the video processing page. Here, the system will be in charge of carrying out the download and start the transcription. Here, I stumble upon something I had forgotten. In order to use the Whisper models, unlike other devices, the Hailo 10H requires of a specific version of the model that can be downloaded directly from their website. I am going to download the 3 models, and then I will put them inside the Hailo folder, inside the models folder. We must do the same for the computer vision models that we want to use. The download links can be found in the article on my website. With the models in their place, I'll click Retry. And now let's wait. I'm not going to make you watch the whole process, since it took 3 minutes and 15 seconds to process this whole video. The processing speed will depend on the size of the selected Whisper model. Once it's finished, here we can find the transcription. Now, I'll click on the AI Generate button. Here, we can select if we want to identify clips, shorts, and chapters. I will leave everything by default, and just click Generate. I didn't show it, but I am using Gemini 3.1 Flash to generate this. Once finished, just scroll down. And here we can find the identified clips. Now, to show you the use of the computer vision model, I will select Shorts. I'll turn on subtitles, and then click on Export MP4. Here we can see at the bottom of the terminal how the Hailo processor runs the YOLO P5 model very quickly, since this is just a 30-second clip. And immediately at the top, we can see that the rendering of the video starts using the GPU of the Intel processor. Once finished, if we click on the Clip tab, we can see how the system has integrated subtitles and adjust the video to focus the parts where it detected people. If we watch the original video, we can see that when it detected 2 people, it performed a double adjustment so that both will appear in vertical format on the screen. All of this using the hardware available on our mini server. Now, to take advantage of the execution of text generation models, we need to install the Hailo ASUS UGen300 AI package, which we can download from the Hailo developer page. This, through the Hailo Llama service, allows us to run models specifically optimized for the Hailo 10H. However, I tried to use an LLM in Home Assistant using the official Llama integration, but it was not possible, since Hailo Llama don't support all conventional Llama functions. Luckily, I was able to use it with OpenWebUI. And here again, to install it, you can use the guide that you can find on my website. But, as expected, the models available to run on this device are not very powerful. We barely have access to the 1.7 billion parameter version of the Qwen 3 model, which can work well for basic tasks, but fails catastrophically when used to solve more complex questions. Anyway, what is worth highlighting is the possibility of getting a specialized model, a concept similar to the home models I covered a while ago on my channel, that will allow us to control our smart home. During my research, I came across projects like this, which try to fully replace assistants like Google Home or Alexa using the Hailo 10H plus Home Assistant's word detection system in order to build a competent enough assistant. I also came across this project, which is a Frigate fork, which adds support for the Hailo 10H model, and that, according to some users' tests, can easily handle up to 6 full HD camera streams without issues. Remember that you can find the links to all the things I'm mentioning on my website. As you can see, the combination of the AI model UGen300 and the ZimaBoard 2 gives us all the power we need to comfortably run these models 100% locally. I'm going to migrate my entire smart home from the ZimaBlade to this new setup, and I will continue exploring ways to take full advantage of it. You don't know for how long I have been working on this video. I just didn't want to make a copy of my ZimaBlade video, since I like to feel that each of one of my projects contributes something really different. I hope you found something useful. And if you like my work, consider becoming a patron like all these amazing people. Your support is what allows me to continue work on projects like this to help the community. But if you can't, don't worry. Just leave a comment on the video and share it with your friends. I'll see you in the next one.